Good morning. How's everybody doing? I hope you're all okay. Good afternoon. Beautiful day here. Shame I can't do much about it, but I mean, like, I can only walk so far before I get puffed out. Anyway, thought we'd do something a little bit different today. So I've got a full piece of paper out. You're going to need some paints of your choice. I'm going to use some stamps. I don't tend to use a lot of stamps, which is wrong, but we're going to do it in a mixed media style. So I've got some of my own Moodling stamps, which I think suit what I'm going to do really well. I'm not too fussed because they're all going to work, but I'm going to look for ones that, how can I put, perhaps inspire me straight away. I've got that'll do. An old die cut, bits that I've already got. I mean, that might work. But I'm just getting these. Oh, I forgot about. So I've got a bag of bits, right? Okay. Oh, that's the B. That was one of my favourites. That we did that at Highlights. And it was a Manchester B I did, but it's exclusive to theirs. And you get the die cuts for all the sections, and I'd love to do that, something like that. We are planning some more stuff this year based on stuff like that, so keep your eyes open. So basically, using one of my previous stamp sets. Oh, look at that, looks a right mess. So that was a can of drink, not beer, just in case. Oh, that's not mine. Right, get rid of that one. Oh, here's my deliverer. 1 minute. Oh, yes. Got me delivery of some bespoke colours. Just bought some new colours. Only a few because I've got thousands, as you know, but these are like colours from the SAA. I'm a member of it. And these colours are great stuff. They come like that, and you won't believe £6, would you? Something like that is £7 or something. But they're well worth the colours because I don't have them. So anyway, I could debox that later. But anyway, so let's get back to it. I took the autofocus off. I've tried to do the both camera settings, so hopefully it's not as crazy for you. I'll go through everything first. So I've got my paper, and this is the mixed media paper. It's a Fabriano. And for what I'm going to do, I don't just need watercolor paper, I need mixed media paper and stuff. So very happy about that. I have got some paints. I've got some watercolor paints. I've got my Winsor and Newton. I've got some Deco Art Media sets. I've got a white pen. I've got some masking tapes and a pencil and some stamps. So, okay, let's get to it. You don't have to follow me. It's sometimes easier to watch and then do it later. But I've got some masking tape. So I've got painter's masking, and I'm going to hopefully be able to see this when I do it. I'll bring the camera a little bit higher. Kept thinking, no, don't use that. Why don't you want to use that? Well, if you use that, that means that no, sod it, just use it. I do like using, this is my favourite trick of being able to section it off. So, oh, you're a bit codwallop there, aren't you? There we go. I'm not actually too sure what's happened here, but so I'm not too. No, I don't want that there. See that little blue mark? So get rid of that. So I'm just making sections. I've got a little blue mark there, which is a bit. Why's the autofocus come back on? It's done it again, hasn't it? Right, I'm gonna have to bring you down. So anyway, you've got the overall picture. I've got a set of like areas to work from. Okay, I'm going to take this off the board so I can work on it flat. And you've got, it might actually it might work better for me. The stencil adhesive you get is really great for stamping on, you know, for sticking on the back of your papers. Right, okay, so we sort of got you a bit better there. I've got these papers, got these stamps, got Versary Clay. Now this might be a bit dry, so I am hoping that we'll get some sort of patterning on here. Okay, so let's see what I've got. Quite like this one. I like them all actually. I quite like this one. So anyway, the stencil. So this could be a series on which you sort of separate the frames later on. Now, I'm going to be doing a new series. I keep saying this, but I've got to do it now. And it's called Withers Wednesday. And it's all about, actually, a very good friend of mine was mentioned it to me. And it was such a good idea. I was like, oh, yeah, I've got to do it. And it's basically, are you with us? And it's going to be a series of weekly mixed media projects that you can sign up for. And obviously you get the list, but it's for everybody. There's going to be like a winner's prize and everything that you need. There's going to be everything there so that you don't have to have anything apart from what I say. I mean, I'd love to be able to say, oh yeah, I could do you all the little packages and everything, but I can't actually do that. So yeah, it's going to be every Wednesday, live and recordable, and we get to do a whole project together, finished. And even if it needs to be finished after the live, which it wouldn't be really, I'm going to be providing the video. So you get a whole class on a Wednesday, Withers Wednesday, and might be artist included, it might be everything, but it's a full project, and I'm going to be starting that February, and I'm really looking forward to it. So it might be an artist-based one on Klimt, which will be my first one. The first one will be on Klimt. So I've got some patterns and designs on here. And this is a bit of a taster. Now they're random. They don't really have any mind or matter at the moment. I've got a die cut, which I think, you know, later on would look really cool in areas, just to chop areas off. Like that bit there would look perfect for that. And then I could chop the other bit off and put it in there as glue. What do you? I really like that idea. So now I haven't got a stamping block. Well, it is there somewhere, but I'll be honest with you, everything it's a bit difficult to get hold of anything because I have to dig it out, and I'm just so worried of falling. So I'm just gonna move this out of the way. Just going to get a piece of paper. So bring this back. Cover up where you don't want it. But remember, it doesn't have to be perfect because you're painting on it. Perfect. That's all I want. Okay, a little bit in there. It doesn't matter, I can draw those lines in. So I really love this stamp. So what I'm going to do is there we go. Now this is not paper, so it's got quite a bump on it. So the reason why it's not registering is not the stamp quality or anything. It's the fact that it's got a a bit of a kick to the front. So I've got this as well. So I've got that. If I had another one, I might do another one there. And these are all out of a pack. So I've got some little bobs and bits that go in between that I can sort of, you know, like, this is quite a nice one. Because I've got like the patterns that would go like that. I'm just really concerned why this camera's being so... that's better. So, oh, I've not said hello. Whoa, 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 whoa. Go back. Oh, goodness me. Oh, let's see. Hi, hi, hi. Hi, Emma. Hi, Jane. Hi, Leanne. Hi, Angela. Yes, it's not going to be expensive. It's just going to be really affordable because I don't do expensive because we can't. We just can't. So I'm looking at the little bits and bobs I've got here and I'm thinking, yeah, that would really go. That would really go. Yeah, I really like that. But I'm just pinning them where I think they would go. No, I'm really not matter reason. I just want to get something on it. I don't want to be faffing about too much. I just want to get some pattern on it. Oh, oh yeah, that's really good. Stamping with that. Now you can emboss as well, which would be really cool. Right, I'm just going to do that there because I think that would look quite nice. Maybe a bit there. Okay. Just looking at maybe up here. I quite like this little fringe, and I'm going to put that there. Oh, we've just really mudged that, but it doesn't matter. Oh, look at that. It's a bit dodgy, isn't it? It really won't matter, honestly. Because I'm going to go right over it. I just get the highest point on that one and then I'm all right. But please, advice, use a stamping platform or use a block. Don't mess about like me. So that's all I'm doing up to now. So I've got that. Okay, so I've got my paper sectioned. I've got my stamps on. Right? Oh, I never stress about stuff, do I ever? When do I ever? You know, without, I know you know me now. I embrace it. It's just, I don't care. I really don't care. I just want you to see that how it fits and how it looks. Not that it's not perfect. So I'm just putting in where I think it could need a little bit, just to outline any sort of points of registration, like that bit there and that there. So all I'm doing, that's it. I'm happy with that. Cleaning up that bit. Cleaning up that bit. And I'm using a thingy pen. The one thing I always do is embrace anything that's gone wrong, and I always show people. Hello, Philippa. I can't see names on here, so I do apologise. So I've got all that, and it looks a complete mess. I might add some more colours to more lines and stuff to it, but I'm not going to be worrying too much at the moment because what I want to do is put some waterpiece on, and I've got my trusty set. I've even got a clean palette. So to explain what I'm going to be doing, I'm looking at this colour here. So this is what I'll be doing on Wednesdays. It's a full class with colour coordination and stuff. And I will be showing you why I'm using these colours and what it will sort of, how it will enhance and why it'll enhance. So I'm looking at this and I'm looking at this one opposite, complementary. Okay, so this one will deaden that one, and that one will brighten that one, if you know, so darker and lighter. Okay, so if I wanted to, I could explore one red, orange, orange, yellow ochre with blue. So that's another, and that is called a split complementary. So let me look at the colours I'm looking at. The greeny blue. Okay, so red, orange, red, and orange. But I could take it to yellow with a dash of purple if I wanted, but I'm going to be more this side to that. So I will go into more depth with your lessons. So the first thing I'm going to do is make a little wash. Just let me clean these up, because if I don't, you know what'll happen. They'll just go all over my elbows. I found this the other day. Remember these years ago? Oh, loving it. Right, okay. So put a little bit of colour down. The only reason I'm using these paints is because these are nearest. Right, a little tiny drop of that. Now, the red in the colour is magenta, and I'm going to use it a yellow. There. Now, I put some to wash, and I'm going to put, got a bogey this one, a little bit in here. Now, the reason I'm not going over the top with colour is because there's enough colour with these. Now, I'm going to get a beautiful purple out of these colours, believe it or not. So that's why, you know, if you watch, the lessons will become well worth it. So I've got this crazy, stupid. Are we doing the door? Yes, that's going to be one of them, Sharon. That's a painting I took not long ago, and I'm going to be doing that in bright watercolours. So, little tip, right? Okay. Now, you want clean water, use a pipette. Don't use your brush. So I'm able to keep it clean. I just put a little bit of water in each. And then on here, I'm going to put little puddles. Now, I have 3. You know I have 3 palettes. I have, a clean, a dirty, and a rinse. So what I'm going to do is always put a wash of yellow. So let me put a bit of yellow on here. Splash, and I mean a splash of red, magenta. I don't want it. Now you've got crazy mad colours showing up on there. It's not quite that vivid. So I've got a nice little wash there. You can't even see how much is on it, but that'll do. There we go, lovely. Plenty of water. Have your heat gun ready. Make sure that your stamps are dry, because if they're not, they're going to smear. That's why I use the Versaclear. So I'm just going to put this, and it is basically whacking the colour on. So I'm not worried about any lines. Yeah, just to answer you, Sharon. Yeah, I took that ages ago when I was doing, I was out walking when I could, and I got a really nice picture of a door, and it reminded me of the secret garden. So I was like, oh, I've got to do that. So yeah, I took that picture, and I've been manipulating it so I can get some tonal advantages. What I mean by that is so I can look at it black and white and stuff. So I've got a bit of the colour on everywhere. So I've used the magenta and I've used that, but I want to make a brown. So I'm going to make a brown. So I'm going to take a bit of the blue, bit of the red, well, teal. Now, it's quite easy to make a nice brown, and this brown will go with what you've got here because it's made with those colours. So, sorry, I didn't show you. And you see I've got like quite a nice brown, making it a little bit darker, a little bit redder. Too red, so yellow should make the brown down. Okay, so there's my brown. Now, that might be way too much. So I'm just putting some colour on, willy-nilly. What I'm going to do is just soften some of the edges up. Now, you can tell this is a mixed media paper because it's starting to ruffle already. Now, because it's starting to dry, I'm going to get some different effects happening. It looks quite purple to you, but it's quite brown here. So, but it will look that because that's the colours in it. You know what I mean? That's what it's made of. So, quite happy with that. Now, I'm just going to put a little bit more of straight yellow. Soften some of these edges. I don't want it that strong. So what I'm doing is starting with the same colours. Now I've got green. Very light green. But it's bringing a flash of colour through. So teal and yellow. I'm going to make a great green. And I can knock it back with a bit of brown. And this is how you mix on your palette. You sort of put the edges of the colour near each other and then mix the edges. I don't want to do too much. But you will get a full project out of it. And each one will be an entirely different piece of work, although it'll go together. Now I'm just going to use some teal to give it a bit of oomph. And because some of it's still wet, I've got some nice effects going on underneath. But yeah, so every Wednesday, why not Wednesday? Why don't you? No, it's going to be with us Wednesday. And it's not my idea, it's a lovely, lovely, lovely good friend of mine who we talk a lot together about work, about art, and she's really given me this idea, and that's our lovely Janice. So yeah, she's really important because she's telling me from an art point of view what she wants to do, and it's really informative. But I hope she don't mind me mentioning this. But yeah, we sort of discuss artworks and stuff, and she's really, really clever lady, and it just makes sense what she says. So here, I'm going to flick on some water. And I'm using clean water and I'm using my big mop, which is that. Right. Now, only 3 colours there. So you can mix, in essence, if you think about it, we've more or less got primaries, you know. Right, left it a bit. Let's mop. Now it's not had much effect because it's quite wet anyway, but if I was to do some more, I like that. Now I've got a layer, I'm going to dry it a little bit. Not a lot, I don't need to dry it too much. I just need to get to the point where I can add layers. But I've been, in essence, what I've done is use this paint as a watercolour style. Now I always flip the paper over because you can see where it's still wet. Okay, now it's not brilliantly dry, but I'm not particularly bothered. And if you're looking at it like that and you think I really don't like that, just turn it round and you'll be surprised. Oh, right, okay, yeah, let's work on it this way. So I'm going to go back with the colours. And I'm going to use a round brush now so that I can actually bring the colours in a little bit more. So I'm going to do some painting. Right. So I'm just going to brighten areas. So I've got that there. I love the effect that you can get putting a yellow glaze over greens, blues, because watercolour, well, anything that you use in a watercolour style will give you glazes. So, you know, you change from seeing just one flat colour to seeing a range of colours. Just wash your brush because I've just had yellow, so I'm going to make green, aren't I? So wash your brush, and I'm just going to take the teal, and I'm just going to bring. Now I don't like this bit. So pull it, put like a light glaze on it, then get some water. Now it's taken that back and it's made it look quite interesting as a landscape, and I'll show you what I mean now. So here, Alexa, level 1. So again, this little bit here. Not much. I don't want to overpower it and colour it all in, but I just want to give it a bit more definition. And I have to be really careful with the red because I'll show you. I get a beautiful purple, and purple's okay if that's what you want. So it's a really beautiful colour. Just going to leave that a second and take these off. I don't want them on there. There we go. We've got some nice lifting, which I don't want it too wet, too dark. I want to lift some of the colour. So there we go. I'm happy with that. So I've lifted some of the colour. So, okay, I've got that. Quite like some of these in here. It's going to start the end of January, beginning of February. I'm hoping that while my leg's like this, I can get it done. But yeah, it'll be at once a week on a Wednesday, but you join up for the month. And I think it's one way of being able to get like a catalogue of work, but it's going to be a finished project. Oh, the paints are Deco Art Media. I've had these for years and I can pick them up. Oh, the other colour I've got there, which is a must, is ochre. So I'll put a little bit of that out. I love saving them, the bogies. The bogies, shouldn't call them that. But the ochre is one of the best colours because that one, and that one will make primaries. They're just a brilliant. Now, if you get some white first, that means you've not mixed up the binder, but all you do is give it a quick mix. Now I've mixed it like this, so now what we've got is nearer to a quinacridone, like a rust colour. So I'm going to put a little bit of rust in it now. I'm just going to put a little bit of glaze and then rub it in. I don't want it to be, you know, the kit and caboodle of it. I just want a glaze. So just going to rub it in and then with a little bit of water on another brush. Because don't forget, watercolour is reactable, but this isn't once it's dry. So it's best to have it, put some water down first. So if I do it there and then concentrate it in the corner, I can get a much smoother effect with acrylics. So here I quite like that effect. I'm using a dry brush there. Got some nice colours happening. I like it here. I've not tried, put a tiny bit more on in the middle. But I think this is looking a little bit too dark. So what you can do is just lift it with a tiny bit of the light colour. Like that. So we've got a bit of fire. And I'm just going to put there like that. Because that's going to be a landscape, believe it or not. Right, okay, so look at it. It looks pretty rubbish. Oh, sorry, I don't know who's going, but I do apologise. I hope I put you off. I'm only joking. So I quite like that. There's lots to be done. I'm only doing an hour, so we'll see where we get with an hour. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is just look at it and think. I love the idea of just adding to this now and just keep adding. So let's look for some colours that I haven't got. I love the teal, so I want to put the teal back in. So I put a line of colour, clean my brush. Now this is mixed media paper, it's not watercolour paper, so you've got very little time to work at it, but you can do it. So you can see now I've dragged it out, put a little bit more on. Because I've already got the water underneath, it's allowing me to bring it out even more. Okay, blend it to the end, blend it off the end. There we go. So we've got this nice blue teal starting point. And when you see some of the blending works that I've done in the past, you understand that's a really nice, easy way of blending. I'm going to do the same here. Just build it up from the corner out. Blend it down. And you can see the paper is really quite rough. And I quite like that there. So dry brush it in. It's quite a nice feed. So now I can see the landscape happening here. And I can see the landscape here. And I can see this is more of a controlled pattern. Blending bright colours. Right, now you're just going to go, oh my God, what's she doing? So I'm going to get what we call a rigger brush. She says. I only got this one. Where's the other one? A rigger is a long, thin brush. Okay, so I've got a very dark brown. What I've mixed is a little bit of this with it. Just playing around with some lines now. All I'm going to do. Is just look at some lines, put some lines on it. There we go. I've got those lines on it. I'm going to get a piece of card or anything. It's got a bit of an edge on it. I'm going to use a piece of cardboard. So I'm going to use this edge. I'm just going to dip in the red. And I'm just going to mess up some colour. If you don't like it when it's like that, just rub it in. It's just taking the control away. I always get people saying, why have you done that? Well, it will look better in the end. It's just too pretty if I don't. And I don't want it to be pretty. I want it to be interesting. So, using the corner. And then putting a line down and then just bringing the line out. Okay, so we're putting in some lines just to give it a bit of fire, and I can hear people going, no, what have you done that for? Because I can. And because I don't want it to be boring. That's it. So we've got quite a lot of red going on in here. Let's put a bit of there we go, some nice. All right, I've got a scrubbing brush. So where's that water come from? So I'm just going to put my brush in a bit of water, and then I'm just going to pick up some, not too much, he says. Look where your colours are. So it's going in the background now, so you can hardly see the stuff we did. So it was all pretty before. It certainly is now. Okay, so wash your brush and don't forget that. And if you want it to be more watercolour, you can do that. But remember, if you're going to do that, you've got to dry it as well. So slap your water on, get a bit of your, I think I need a bit of the ochre. Yeah. Perfect. Well, it's not, I know you're thinking. Yeah. That's the one, Angela. Acrylic, Emma. Um, anything that's got a media is acrylic. Um, it has to say what, they're all water based, but they're not water reactive. These are permanent and the others are water reactive. I don't want too much wet paint because I won't be able to work on it. But don't forget, I can put 20, 30 layers on this now for you. So I just dried it up a little bit. Now I've got some white and I've got some white glitter and I love this hybrid stuff by Cadence. And I'm so glad that this was near to hand because this really is good. So what I'm going to do is just clean them brushes. Right. So I've got lots of things going on. I'm going to choose this one, okay? Just for the because I can, because it's got everything I need on it. I quite like this one though because I think this one's a beautiful landscape. And I can see the trees and the sun and the hills and the and that. And then this one is like a beach and the sun here. And this one, but this one is quite a nice colouring in. I really like this though. Anyway, so what I'm going to do with this is I've got a little bit of my. Come on now, play the game. Now, come on, I know you might be bunged up, but it's not the answer. I'm bunged. I do love this because the glitter is it. How can I put it? It's brilliant because it stays in it. It's not too heavy. It doesn't sink to the bottom, so you've got lots of use with it. And I just think it looks brilliant. So we'll look at this one, and I've got a tiny bit of white, and I've put a little bit of water on it just to give it a bit of movement, as we said. Just going to do that. Now I'm colouring it in and then blending it in on the finger. I don't want it too bright. So just putting a little bit of colour there. And all I'm doing with this is rubbing out the colour. So I want to brighten it, but I don't want to, make it obliterated. So what you can do is when you've got this sort of thing is just highlight the area that you want. And then it's not as soft as mine, are they? Papers are definitely different. There we go. So soften that up there. Quite like that area there. I keep wanting to work on all of them, but I can't. So the white, what I can do is now, I'll have all sorts of colours now that I can actually put in. So, before I could only put in the 3 sort of, but now it's this colour here. I've got the magenta and the white. I've got a nice pink happening there. So I'm just bringing in, mixing on the paper itself, on the surface, just so because on the surface you get a different finish, so to speak, than mixing on the palette. You get less of a uniform colour. So I'm looking at this here. Now, if you wanted to do without this, what I'm doing now, you could wet, and mixing it on the paper. You could actually mix it first and then apply it. Right, okay, so I've got that there. There's another one slide there, and I'm picking out areas that aren't as, I suppose it's like on these as a whole, they're not visible, but when you start bringing attention to them. So I've got a little bit of teal there while it's wet, a little bit of white. I'm knocking it back with my finger, so I'm bringing attention to where I want it. Let's have another look. So if you look at it, really, I am, in essence, just bringing out the colour that's predominantly in that area, but also the big circle has become the main feature, that big circle. So I'm just going to go then with a very thin brush, a flat. I'm using silver line brushes. Yeah, this is why I'm bringing them out, because I've got paints and stamps that I've not used, and if you've bought them, you need to know how to use them. That's why I'm using all my stamps in a different way. So I'm putting very light line there, and I'm going round and just bringing that to the edge of my circle. And all I'm doing is trying to outline it that way. You have to work fast with it. I tell you why, because if you don't, it dries. Whereas watercolor, I could leave it and reactivate it, but it don't work that well with, well, it don't work at all with acrylics. Now, what I'm going to do is if there's areas that I really like this bit here, I really like this bit, so bring attention to it just by a tiny bit. Can you see how it's now come alive a little bit? So and there's this bit here that's quite nice. Right, I see this bit here, and you see where I use my rigger. Now, I really like that. I think it's got miles of miles. It's got loads of ideas. So I'm going to work that as I'm going to use a yellow and a white together. And I'm going to bring that pattern right out. I've changed my mind now. I love this one. So as you can see, so every Wednesday, you'll be able to pick up a full project. So my Patreons, you'll be right because you're already on it. So you'll be getting it. And it's a way of building up like a library of techniques. We'll be looking at artist work. See that one now and it's phenomenal. Love it. Only because I can see it. I mean, you're probably sat at home going, "What? That's a pile of poo." But no, there we go. So we've got this pattern, and it's coming this way. And I've got another one happening there. Remember when we was kids and we did these pictures where we coloured in the shapes we made? It's exactly the same. So there we've got another one. I'm not taking the colour away from underneath. I'm just putting a veil on it. There, we've got that one. I love that. So using that theme as an idea, let's go for the others. That little bit there, I'm going to take away elements of this and this because I like them, but I'm not going to. Oh, I could do pencil colour in that. Yeah, let's leave it. So now you see these are going to be aerials to Moodle. So it's quite a muddy area that, and by muddy I mean that there's lots of colours converging, and what happens is it tends to get a bit confusing. So I'm adding ochre, which is like the yellow, just to bring those colours together. Now you could never ever do the same as me, but you could do your own work in this way. But that doesn't mean don't ever try and be something that you're not. You just find your own. I mean, when I see someone like Michelle Moore, I've got to mention Michelle. She's amazing at animals, isn't she? You know, so you take those skills, but she's absolutely amazing at animals, and you think, wow, they're beautiful, and then do them. But you know, if Michelle came along and tried to be an architect and found it difficult, well, yeah, because she doesn't at the moment do drawings, but she can. But her concentration on animals has really paid off. So, you know, they're not just because you can do one thing doesn't mean that you can naturally do others. You've got to practice. So, yeah, and you look at people who can do, like Sharon is doing so much colour work now, and you can see the difference. It looks amazing. So, yeah, you sort of use those skills. And I think that we can be a bit wrapped up trying to be someone else when really you find your own skill and then go with it. It's like Emma now. Emma has got a vast amount of knowledge, skills, and understanding in lots of different media. She's been on a D3, and you know, Glynis, she does all sorts with hers, and Rachel, well, she's amazing. She's an all rounder. But what I found is, as I've watched them progress, that they've found their own niche. Not niche, that's wrong. They found their own strength, and I think that's been so powerful. Really has been powerful. So I'm going to go in with some brights now, just because I put a white on. What that gives me is like a base to put a lighter colour on. It won't disguise all of the colours in there, but it'll bring unity to it. Like this here, I really like that. I'm going to leave that for a minute. I like this. I think it needs a bit more of that there. Just some water on it to scoot it out. There we go, a bit more power to it. We've got this here. So I like the idea of that having a bit more. Teal? Yes. And here we've got orange. So I don't want that. I'm going to take that off. Don't like that. It's too heavy. Take it off and don't worry about it. Here, I've got this wonderful, wonderful orange colour. So I'm going to put some ochre down, mix a little bit of the red with it, bring that down. That's it. Unifying it. So it brings out attention to that. Really happy with that. Really happy. But I'm still going to go with this one because it makes sense to be smaller. So can you see the glitter on it? I hope you can. Oh, it's really hard for you to see, isn't it? Can you see it here? You can see it on here, can't you? Because it's dark, but there's lots of glitter in it. Anyway, that's perfect. So if you've got not a Dr. White, Dr. Martin's PA, bleed proof. You are cooking on gas. And if you haven't, like me, I have. Of course I have. But to be honest with you, it is. Just find it. So I'm going to bring some attention to these. So I'm going to dry one, and then I can work with it. So sorry. Emma, I'm going to disagree with you there. You can be good at everything, but you can be better at one thing. Do you know what I mean? You can be pretty good. But it's all about it's the effort you put into it. Do you know what I mean? It's the effort. If you put the effort in, you're going to get something out, aren't you? If you don't put the effort in and you wait, it's a bit like I say, oh, I can't wait to win the lottery. I'm not in it. How am I going to win it if you're not in it? So I've got a white pen. I'm going to do some moodling. So this is where my stamp has become really useful because I've got so if you've got gold, silver, watercolors or anything like that, this is where your stamps allow you to sort of have boundaries that you can use your work with, and then start to all those colours that you've mixed up in the background become the background. And you can use your watercolours, your pencils, your pencil crayons, and just now you can get really nice detail with a pen as well. You know, other colours. So if you wanted to use a very fine brush, get your nail varnishes out and paint with your nail varnishes. Paint with your makeup. As long as you put a binder with them. So here I'm just highlighting some of them, not all of them. There we go. We've got a nice pattern happening here. We've got this pattern here. So I'm going to go as near as damn it to the outside. So we've got a white line. It's a bit hard for you to see, but it is there. And then you've got a boundary of where that is as well. And all these colours can start to get now I'm going to start to do some drawing. So we've used stamps, watercolours, acrylics, don't like that one. Let's see if we can get rid of it because it's a pen. Yes. So if you get a pen mark you don't like, I'll have to let it dry though. So now here. There we go, we've got a pattern form there. So I'm just going to put some colours in now. So I'm not liking that. So here we go. Wash it out. Great, isn't it? Because the pen isn't permanent, you're not going to have that worry of it being permanent forever. Well, I can't use that brush now. It's right over the other side of the room. Pretty good that with this, but you couldn't do it again. So we've got the. I still want. That's better. So the dark next to the white really allows it to be predominant, a bit more dominant, so we're not doing it. So here, there we go, that's much better. You see the pattern of transparency, but colour, and then here in the background, I'm using a very watered down magenta. It don't really matter if you go over the white, because the reason why is you can wash it out like I showed you and put another colour back on when you're happy with it. So I've got the magenta in a wash. There we go. So we've got that nice pattern here, and then I'm going to use the white and a bit of ochre. Just to bring that alive. Now you don't have to be too careful when you're doing this because the colour is going to be predominant in it. So just going to go back in up here, this corner. Oh, I've got teal on it. Boom, never mind. Let's rub it in. There we go. So we've got a really nice, I'm happy with that. I think maybe a little bit more. I keep going back to the teal, don't I? I think what I need to do is get the teal brighter so that pen will show up. What I've done is I've gone back with the white. That's better. See how it brightens it. Now I've mixed white with it. So if I wash my brush now, it should still reactivate because it's a bit of time left on it. I'm happy with that. I don't like the finish, but if I just do that, much happier with it. Much happier with it. Right, okay, so we're nearly finished one little bit. Just need to give it another dry. What you could do is like Jenny does Zentangle. You could do what Jenny does. Jenny Bunnings is amazingly talented, as you all are. Now I'm going to get my Faber Castells and I'm going to go in with some colour. It's got to be done. I'm using a red. And I'm just doing the outside edges. Now, if you need me to bring it down, I will do. Just let me know. Now, I wouldn't be doing this without the stamp underneath it. That's the important thing to remember, that the stamps underneath it is allowing me to sort of get it right. So I'm going in with a tealy colour to the top and blending. Not done that bit. Looks a bit weird. So just to the top, like that. And then I'm going to get a really nice bright yellow. Not white, but yellow. Bring the colour there. Bring the colour there. I'm just looking at the colours in it. Maybe right in the middle with an orange. I'm not taking my time because I don't really need to. The stamp's doing the work for me. But this is the Mindful Moodling from Highlight Craft. So if you're wondering which colour it is, which stamp it is, it's the Mindful Moodling. So just brightening this up. I'm just going to do this one because if I don't, it'll look very strange when I chop it up. There we go. It just finishes it now. And then here, I think it needs the red again because I think it needs to pop. There we go. So we've got the red there. That's brought that out. Let me just get that working on my skin. It's weird how it works on your skin. Where it's wet, it won't work so well. Woo! Not good. Grab the camera off. I'm having so many problems. I was looking at buying a new one and it was just, this is the best one I've got. Oh my goodness me. There we go. This is the best one I've got. So, and that's around as well. And I'm like, wow. But I do bash them around and stuff. I use them a lot. Don't like that, but don't worry if you make a bit of a cods, then just leave it to dry and go over it with your pen. There we go. So I'm at that. I'm just going to put a little bit of white there. But don't forget, I've got pencil there, so it might scream at me a little bit. Okay, so let me see. Right, put them back. I'm just going to choose a colour that something I think will just finish that off. And I'm looking at it now, and it's not penwork as such, but I do need some pattern. And I'm thinking what sort of pattern would work with this sort of element. I'm looking around and I'm looking at my other work and I'm looking at this, and it definitely has to be 1, 2, 3. So if I put them in there and then put one there, one there, and one there, like that. Doesn't matter if it's perfect. Seriously doesn't. So here I'm just doing what I normally do, putting my Moodles in. Just going to run in. I would put some colour in and some pattern in actually, because I think this would really benefit from some pattern. But at the moment, I'm just going to put in but the other projects I've got are working with faces, words, you name it. I'm really looking forward to it actually. So I'm just going to use some pattern on this. So I'm going to go back with, could use a pencil, could use your paint. I'm going to use a pen. No, shall I? Yeah, use a pencil, and then if you know you've got pencils at home, this will help you understand how you can use all these medias together. That's why I chose a mixed media paper, because the watercolor paper is fit for watercolors, but because I'm throwing all this other stuff on it, this is better for other stuff. So normally I would say watercolor for watercolor, but mixed media for mixed media, but it also does watercolor, if that makes sense. Just put a pattern on there. I'll get my white. And I'm going to blend it. Like that. Something really simple. Okay. I'm not going to do it. I could do loads more, but I'm not. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to put these back, but just to show you what it looks like once I've taken everything off. Oh, come on. I'm going to keep it on for the others. So I would finish that because I think there's lots more to do. But if you look at it now, it's its own piece of work with stamping. We haven't embossed, but we've stamped, paint, pencils, watercolor style, hybrid paint with a glitter. You know, I'm using my microns. So you can just see, you can go on forever. And I'm working back into it now to give it some definition, which really does make a difference. You know, just doing one made a difference to it and neaten it up. And here, I think it needs to be highlighted and added and gems on it. So you could add all your gems, but just to show you that that initial sort of square has now come to that. So I hope that will give you a little bit of a taste. I am going to do a person one next. Like I said, it's going to start February. So I'm going to give you some teasers of what I'm doing. So it'll be similar to my brother's Lost Boy one. But then it'll give you a taster of what's coming. So, in the meantime, you could lose yourself in all of them. And if you didn't like them, chop them up. So I hope you've got an idea with that. I hope you enjoyed it. And I'm going to be, I'm just going to try and read some of these, but I will put out the notifications as I'm doing it, do a little video and stuff. And then as it comes nearer the date, I'll show you what I'm doing. And then it'll be like I say, the end of January, beginning of Feb. I hope I don't have to delay it, but it'll be the Patreons will be able to have some of it, if not most of it. But it'll be, monthly, so you can come in and drop in and use it whenever you want, and it'll be there forever. But you can see now in a little frame that will look so cool with some gems on, and then you could actually match it all up. So yeah, I'm going to do that next time. I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you very much for being with me. And I hope that's given you some ideas of where to start when you're lost, because that's what it is basically. Um, that's what it is basically. It's a beautiful. Thank you, Susie. Thank you so much. Yeah, it is a safe space. And I will see you. It's Saturday now, Sunday, Monday. Yay! I'll be here Monday, showing you and the next instalment of Are You With Us? With us. So big love. Thanks, guys. See you later.